All right. Welcome to What's Niggling Me. I'm going to read a couple things to start. Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in many other countries. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. That is November 2nd, 1917. I don't want to hear this 1948 bullshit. Okay? The plan has been going on for a long fucking time. And it was going on before this. This is Walter Rothschild that this declaration is made to, the British Zionist, and it is written by Arthur Balfour. It is the Balfour Declaration. And then I shall read this other person. This other person says, in 1929, he says this, November 25th, to the eventual president of Israel. Okay? If we are not able to find a way to honest cooperation and honest pacts with the Arabs, then we have learned nothing during our 2,000 years of suffering and deserve the fate which will befall us. Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was not a huge fan. Albert Einstein says, when a real and final catastrophe should befall us in Palestine, the first responsible for it would be the British, and the second responsible for it the terrorist organizations built up from our own ranks. I am not willing to see anybody associated with those misled and criminal people. Who's he speaking about? He's speaking about the Stern Group. And here in this article, it says a Zionist parliamentary organization founded in Mandatory Palestine. You realize all of this says Palestine before there was ever an Israel. Now, I'm going to read another thing shortly. And I'm just stating fucking facts. Can't be anti-Semitic when I'm just stating fucking facts. We must not forget that this is Albert Einstein as well. We must not forget that in those years of atrocious persecution of the Jewish people, Soviet Russia has been the only great nation who has saved hundreds of thousands of Jewish lives. The enterprise to settle 30,000 Jewish war orphans in, wow, I don't know this land, I don't know this, Biro Dijon, I think I said that right, or close, Biro Dijon, and secure for them in this way a satisfying and happy future is new proof for the humane attitude of Russia towards our Jewish people. In helping this cause, we will contribute in a very effective way to the salvation of the remnants of European Jewry. Albert Einstein, saying Soviet Russia, positive things about Soviet Russia. In March 1947, critical time, I.Z. David, a member of the Irgun terrorist group led by Menachem Begin, sent him a questionnaire to which he responded sharply and clearly. The question: what is your opinion about the establishment of a free national Jewish Palestine? Jewish national Einstein. Jewish national home? Question mark? Yes. Jewish national Palestine? No. I favor a free binational Palestine at a later date after an agreement with the Arabs. Question to Einstein: opinion about partition of Palestine and Chaim Weizmann's proposals repartition. I am against partition, Einstein says. On the question of alliance between British and American imperialism, Einstein harbored no illusions. It seems to me that our beloved Americans are now patterning their foreign policy on the model of the Germans, since they appear to have inherited the latter's inflatedness and arrogance. Apparently, they also want to take on the role England has played up to now. And boy, have they. This is in 1947. Man, was he fucking right. They refuse to learn from each other and learn little even from their own harsh experience. What has been implanted into the heads from an early youth is rooted more firmly than experience and reasoning. The English are yet another good example of this. Their old-fashioned methods of suppressing the masses by using indigenous, unscrupulous elements from the economic upper class will soon cost them their whole empire. But they are incapable to bring themselves to change their methods, no matter whether it's the Tories or the socialists. With the Germans, it was exactly the same. All of this would be good and well, except for the fact that it's so sad for the better elements and the oppressed. Einstein was not happy. Okay, now I shall go to Cornell University Library. I found this. Dream of Zionism, Map of Greater Israel. So there's no author on whoever the fuck wrote this. Cornell University. This is in their library about Greater Israel. Even before the State of Israel came into existence, Arab leaders accused Zionists of seeking to rule most of the Middle East, a secret Jewish plot to establish a Greater Israel, extending from the Nile to the Euphrates and the Persian Gulf, and south deep into Saudi Arabia, a bit far-fetched and a calumny. This notion has become so routinized and accepted that it now serves as the conventional wisdom in all the Arabic-speaking countries and Iran. No. It's over here in fucking North America too. This is one of the two maps in the collection alleged to provide evidence of the Greater Israel conspiracy. There's not a conspiracy. If you read Benjamin Netanyahu's dad's fucking writing, and listen to Benjamin Netanyahu's fucking words, he's on fucking film that I'll go over shortly. The map Dream of Zionism shows Zionism as a giant serpent, its back decorated with a pattern of triangles described as Freemason's eye, symbol of Jewry. The snake's circular outline marks the proposed boundary of Greater Israel, an area including all of Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and the Sinai Peninsula, the Nile Delta region of Egypt along the Suez Canal and northwest of Cairo, and virtually all of Iraq, including access to the Persian Gulf. It also includes a large portion of northwestern Saudi Arabia, a corridor well over 100 miles wide along the Red Sea, stretching south more than 450 miles from the Gulf of Aqaba to the holy city of Medina. Curiously, the conspiracy theorists see Greater Israel, including Medina, but not Mecca, the oil fields of Kuwait, but not those of Saudi Arabia, and more of Turkey than Iran. The state of Israel is identified as occupied Palestine. Oh, I saw something in there. But oil, where was that? The oil fields of Kuwait, but not those of Saudi Arabia. Israel gets its oil from Iraq. When the United States went in there, the United States didn't go and get the oil. Israel got the oil. So this is from a .gov, United States.gov site, okay? Right there. Oh, fuck. This is about the terrorists that started Israel. I'm not going to read all of this. It's 385 fucking pages by J.B. Bell. The history, leadership, and activities of the militant Zionist underground army, the Irgun, ZVAI, however you pronounce that, the Irgun, Zvi, Lumi, are investigated, as well as the activities of the Stern Group and the Haganah during the years of 1929 to 1949, specifically when Albert Einstein was saying, this is a bad fucking idea. In 1929, Jewish-Arab conflict in Palestine produced many deaths on both sides. Despite efforts of the occupying British Army to keep peace, the Haganah had been established by Jewish administrative officials to provide what proved to be limited self-defense for Jewish communities, with orders not to engage in indiscriminate attacks on Arabs. Cooperation with British security forces was Haganah policy. During this period of increasing hostilities between Arabs and Jews, the Irgun was formed upon the leadership of Vladimir Jabotinsky to assume an offensive terrorist strategy against the Arabs with apparently arbitrary violence against Arab populations. Another underground Jewish terrorist group, Lohami Haruth Israel, in brackets, Fighters for the Freedom of Israel, or Lehi, was formed under the leadership of Avraham Stern and came to be perceived by conventional eyes as the most violent and unrestrained terrorist organization of the modern era. Whereas the Haganah acted as an underground militia and the Irgun as an underground army, Leahy focused on the assassinations of significant British officials, the most notable being the murder of British ambassador Mohene in Egypt. The Irgun, with leadership passing from Jabotinsky to Menachem Begin, continued its aggression against the Arabs and the British occupiers, frequently in joint British occupiers, which is hilarious because they got that Balfour Declaration from the British. until partitioning of Palestine occurred by the United Nations action, Israeli government officials sought non-violent and accommodating resolutions to Arab-Israeli conflicts, leading to the censure of Erdogan in the interest of a unified official policy of moderation. Begin eventually dismantled Erdogan to establish a legitimate political party. Read a tiny bit more of that. While the moderates of Zionism and Israeli officialdom viewed the violent activities of Erdogan and Leahy as a moral blight on the Jewish people and destructive of efforts at peaceful resolutions of conflicts, others viewed these groups as their members as the most dedicated, sacrificial, and effective contributors to the Zionist cause. You mean collaborators? That sounds like collaborators. Terrorist collaborators. Israel. Formed by terrorists. The United States government website says so. I'm just putting the facts out there. Now, this fucking loser, Benjamin Netanyahu. Where's my map at? I got a map here somewhere. Okay, so this idiot, Benjamin Netanyahu, a little over 2 weeks before October 7th, went and told the UN, I'll play it for you while I light my joint. Benjamin Netanyahu. Where's it at?
A few years ago, I stood here with a red marker to show the curse, a great curse, the curse of a nuclear Iran. But today I bring this marker to show a great blessing, the blessing of a new Middle East between Israel, Saudi Arabia, and our other neighbors. We will not only bring down barriers between Israel and our neighbors, we'll build a new corridor of peace and prosperity that connects Asia through the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, to Europe. This is an extraordinary change, a monumental change, another pivot of history. But I also believe that we must not give the Palestinians a veto over new peace treaties with Arab states. Sanctions must be snapped back. And above all, Iran must face a credible nuclear threat.
Iran must face a credible nuclear threat. And right after October 7th, they were pushing the United States to go to war with Iran. Now, you can find that video of him touting peace with Saudi Arabia and talking about a corridor to Asia. Now, I looked at the world map and it doesn't make any sense. The issue, I imagine, that the people that broke out of their cages on October 7th and went into Israel is because on that map, that fucking guy, there's no Palestine. On his map, there's only Israel. That probably didn't make people too happy. There's borders here, not for Palestine. There's borders, but they're not marked for Iraq, There's no there's no name on Syria. There's a border there. There's a line. Iran, it's not listed on here. It shows where those countries are. Lebanon, Syria, Iran. And I think that's Afghanistan, but his hand's in the way. Also not named. Now, Yemen is not on has a border with Oman, and neither of those are labeled on Mr. Netanyahu's map. The only things labeled on Netanyahu's map are Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, Sudan, and Egypt. And I see Europe off to the left. This guy's talking about a corridor. He's talking about trade. For Europe to Israel, and then down through his red line was through Jordan, Europe to Israel to Jordan, through Saudi Arabia, through the UAE. Now, I don't know if this goes into the water, because Oman is there and he doesn't speak of Oman. Doesn't speak of Bahrain. It's on the map. UAE's on the map. It just has Asia over there. Now, let me go to his line. His line looks like it goes to India. Or it looks like it'll lead to India. He's far away from, say, China or Japan, where you think you might get goods or something. There might be something to trade. Maybe they're gonna just go under India and they're gonna go over to Thailand, Vietnam, China. I don't know what the updated plans are, because this is 2 weeks roughly before October 7th. I know they're going to be pushing for Trump's fucking the Middle East up with Netanyahu. They're just fucking shit up. They said, Anthony Blinken, thanks for getting things started. We're going to take over from here. Israel's just having their fucking way with the Middle East. And then you got Saudi Arabia. They cut people's hands off. They throw gay people off buildings. They cut people up and put them in drums and dispose of them. Journalists. That whole Middle East is a shit show. I said it before. There'll never be peace in the Middle East in my lifetime. Ever. You can't just take... It just doesn't make sense that this ever was going to work. All these Arab people around, and the Jewish people go say, we want all this land. We had it 2,000 years ago and we want it back. People that were here in Canada and the United States a lot less than 2,000 years ago were kicked off this land. Are they allowed to say, in our religion, we're the chosen people and this is our land? Down south, they kicked Mexicans off in Texas. What if the Mexicans want to say, hey, we're taking back Texas, that's our fucking land? It's just not allowed. Only Israel gets to do it. Because they say in a book, God chose them, so they deserve this land. And the people that were there before, get the fuck off. You can get out, or we'll just shoot you in the head, shoot you in the kneecaps, starve you. It's pretty fucked up. While our country currently here, Canada, we're in just a managed decline. We've been in a managed decline for quite some time. Mark Carney. I'm just trying to save money, and I'm eventually going to get out of this country. I hate this country. Everyone's just a fucking bunch of sheep. No complaining about Netanyahu. No complaining about Xi Jinping. No complaining about Kim Jong-un. It's always complaining about Putin and Trump and Elon Musk. I'm like, I don't like that Trump added to his fucking death toll, killing people in Yemen, because 100% of those people aren't criminals. The cost of war. I saw that there's a Century Initiative, it's called. CenturyInitiative.ca is a group that is trying to get our Canadian population to 100 million people in the next 75 years. We're gonna import, that's why, and they've had this plan. It's disturbing that they acknowledge this is our managed decline. They don't acknowledge that, but this is it. This is the managed decline. We have the cost of living has risen so much. The household debt is through the roof. We have decided, starting in 2016, we're going to do mass immigration here to make up, because the current Canadian population can't afford to have enough kids. So our birth rate is below repopulation. So our remedy is we're just going to import a bunch of people from around the world so that we can get their tax money, because you need population growth for economic growth. If you don't have population growth, your economic growth goes down. So what is the remedy that we're doing, our government? We are just importing tons of immigrants. We've doubled the amount of immigrants. Once Justin Trudeau got into government, we just started doubling the amount of immigrants. Other countries have done this too. England and Australia have done this, and the United States have done this. It's part of the G7 plan. We're just doing mass immigration to make up for Canadians not having enough kids. And why are we not having enough kids? Because the cost of living went through the roof. We've pretty much for 10 years made no progress. For 10 years, our country has been stagnant. We've not made any economic growth. We've made less than 1% of economic growth. It's very, very embarrassing that second world Asian countries have a higher economic growth, higher GDP than Canada, because our policies are not beneficial to businesses. So if your business gets big enough, you move it out of the country. Like Mark Carney, he moved his company out of here. Kevin O'Leary, they all moved their companies out of here. It makes sense. Our policies are shit. Instead of infrastructure and creating policies to incentivize businesses to come here, we just decided to do the immigration route. I asked Canadians if they think that's been a good time. Has it been a good time? Do you think it's a little excessive? Because a lot more is coming. A lot more is coming. We are at like a 1.3, I think, a 1.3 kids per household. You need 2, right? In order to get an equal replacement, we need 2. When I was growing up, a lot had 3. When I was a kid. And in one generation, the cost of living has gone through the roof while wages have barely went up. So nobody can afford households. Just look at the average age of home buyers. It's like we've priced out a generation, going on 2 generations, from being able to buy houses because interest rates are so high. So it's trying to get a 30-year fucking mortgage. It's just insane. We've priced out middle class, lower class people. During the pandemic, during the global crisis, the wealth disparity continued to increase. It's insane how rich the rich got. Banks are going to bring their interest rates down to 0. Having no Canadian money is the smartest thing I think you can do. This is not financial advice, but I don't want to have any Canadian money. I'd rather have crypto, stocks. I'd rather have assets. The Canadian dollar is about to fall apart. It's going to be pretty crazy. This is just the beginning. In 5 years, there's going to be a serious issue here in Canada. Save as much money as possible and get away from here. We see quite a few dumb people in this country are protesting Elon Musk's Tesla stores or whatever. It's Tesla dealerships. Instead of protesting the carbon tax, like, people are just hilarious. People's priorities fucking make me laugh. They just follow. Oh, this is the cool thing to do. This is what we're supposed to be doing. So dumb. We're getting JFK real documents. Like a lot of things, you go in with no hope, expect the bare minimum, and maybe you can be surprised. Saw these tweets from Kanye. They were pretty fucking funny to me. Maybe I know a lot of people probably don't think they're funny, but he was just talking shit about Drake. It's so funny. I don't think this is going to be a long one. I'm just real pissed about what's going on in the Middle East. Like, will it ever stop? Will it ever stop? I hate that they're just constantly murdering people over there. I think I'm seeing anything else. What Kanye was saying about Drake, though, is just hilarious. In my opinion. Fuck, man. Israel, can you just stop it? I don't know what they're gonna do over there, but I know that I've been tracking Lockheed Martin's fucking stock. I don't like this. Things have been real quiet in Russia, Ukraine. Hopefully that finishes up. I think that's possible. But Israel. They're the problem for a lot of disturbance. I don't know if they have a moderate government. Hardcore war. They need a revolution over there of young people. All those countries have young people, tons of them. Yeah, the populations are really young. That's why Mohammed bin Salman fucking is running Saudi Arabia, not some older sheik. We need to keep the population happy with concerts and fights and shit. What's going Syria? That's a fucking shit show. There's constant fucking murder. Don't want to use technology for good. Just killing. I'm just looking at this fucking Bibi Netanyahu's fucking face. I hate this guy. Close that shit off. Alright. See if we'll be back. What's today? Today is Wednesday. See if we do a Thursday, Friday. See what's going on. Doing tons of reading. Finding interesting things. I like people's biographies. If I hear, like, so I feel like I could do a lot of episodes of interesting people. Just a summary of their biographies. Always loved people's biographies. And now, like with the researching, it's read this person's biography, catch a name or the parents, mentors, and then look them up. And then same thing, who's their family, brothers, sisters, like Ghislaine Maxwell. Her family, very interesting, still alive and active in the United States. I don't know what they're doing, what they're up to. They're secretive. The Bronfmans. I'll be back.